I wanted very much, my major was art education. And at the time, Garfield High School had one of the best art programs in the country. You know, there were, back in those days, they would have statewide art exhibits and, you know, scholarship awards and all kinds of things like that. Garfield was always like, you know, in the top 4 or 5. And I had done some student observation over there, although I didn't student teach there. And I really wanted to teach at Garfield. I knew that there was going to be a vacancy, and my heart was set on teaching art at Garfield. And it also, at that time, reflected the kind of population I grew up with in Portland. And I made it through all the interview process and everything, and I was very, very excited. And my final meeting was with the deputy superintendent of the district. And he said, well, we're happy to offer you a job. And I was just like, you know, really excited and everything. And then he said, but we're not going to place you at Garfield. And I was just like crestfallen. I said, well, why? And he said, well, there's nothing in your background that says you can handle the 6-foot Negro boys. And that's exactly what he said, and I can remember it today as if it was yesterday. I was so upset. I couldn't say anything. And I just walked out of the room. And then later I called and I said I was not going to work for the Seattle School District. And so I took a job where I had already been offered a job with the Renton School District, and I taught at McKnight Middle School, which was in the Renton Highlands, and had a very working class and somewhat diverse student population, and I loved the kids there. So I taught for 2 years there. I never ever worked for the Seattle School District. You know, and I don't have any regrets about my career, but the one position that I always think about is if I had taught at Garfield, I probably would have been in education throughout my whole career. You know, I might have gone back to school and got my master's in administration, or, you know, become vice principal and principal, and, you know, like that. I think I would have been on that track. Because to this day, there's nothing more enjoyable than teaching with the kids. I mean, I just love the kids. And that was like a real shocker. And subsequently, I've had friends who were on the school board or who are pretty high up in the administration, and none of them can believe that story. That he was so blatant as to say that to me in 1968. But he did.